Okay, Assalamualaikum class and very good afternoon. So today we will cover the chapter 7, which is relationship. Okay, what is a relationship actually? So relationship is a very important element when you design the object-oriented applications because each of the classes or object in object-oriented need a link, yeah, need a link between them. So if they don't have a relationship between object, so the object or class considered work in silo. It's like people who live uh, in the very rural area, or they live in the island, specific island, so they don't have a communication with other people, and this consider isolated. So in object oriented, every class uh, should have a relationship between or relationship with another classes. Otherwise, the class are useless. Okay, so they cannot work as silo, and they cannot become as one of the application to uh, execute the application that you want to develop for the user. Yeah. Okay. What I want to bring here in relationship, so I just want to introduce to you about the type of relationship. Yeah? So there are many type of relationship. The uh, most important relationship that we always use is called association. Right? Association uh, is a bidirectional, semantic connection between classes. So this implies that there is a link between object in the associated classes. So let's say this is one example. Let's say you have a boundary class admit screen, and then you have a control class system, and then you have a entity passion DB. So admit screen relate to the system, and the system relate to the passion DB. So same as passion info relate to next of kin, relate to the family. So this one aggregation I will cover later. Yeah. Okay. So this is association role where one object or one class will link to another class. Okay. Like I show you in this diagram. Okay. Another type of association, we call it aggregation. Aggregation is a part of relationship where object logically contain another object. For example, shareholder own a share. So that means when you look at the shareholder and share, okay. So the share owned by shareholder. If the share doesn't have any shareholder, so the share still exists. Yeah, but no one or no people uh, subscribe the share. Okay. So the relationship of aggregation is less loose compared to the association. Association is just related only. Okay, so another relationship, we call it composition. So a composition is a strong relationship from compared to the aggregation. Uh, so this is one example composition. So engine consists of cylinder. So without engine, cylinder also not exist. Okay, so this is very strong relationship. So when you don't have engine, so you don't have cylinder. Yeah, no point that you have cylinder if your engine is not exist. So your car cannot work, or your car cannot exist actually. So another relationship, we call it generalization. So this will cover in chapter 8. Yeah, so I will show you the example of the another example of aggregation. Yeah? So example, patient information relate to the next of kin, relate to the family, and patient information is aggregation to the insurance. So that means uh, so this insurance, uh, when this insurance class not exist, but the patient info still exists. Yeah? So this is also can we can change this relationship. Yeah? Family, next of kin. So we can change into aggregation, for example. So patient information aggregate next of kin. Patient information aggregate family. Okay. So this show the important thing of this information. Yeah? When when you create the patient information, so of course you have next of kin information. At least you got your partner, your next of kin. Example, your wife or your husband. This is your next of kin. Or maybe next of kin is not exist for the bachelor. So if you are single, so this next of kin is no meaning for the patient. This is a family. Let's say I got four children, then this family will be created. If I don't have children, so this family is not exist. Okay, this is a example of aggregation. But you as a designer, you can choose whether the relationship, what type of relationship that you want to use, whether aggregation or uh, composition or uh, sorry, uh, association. Yeah? Whether association, you can choose the relationship when you design your system. So you can choose the relationship whether association, composition, or aggregation. Okay. Uh, Wait a minute. I need to check my video recording. Okay, still work. Okay. Another example. Okay, we look another case. A bank and customer and bank account. What type of relationship that we need to design for this class? Okay. So try to ask yourself, when a bank customer, when customer is not exist, is it the account of this customer is exist? Of course not, right? So this consider composition. Yeah. When you create customer, then you have to create their account. So this is composition. This is an example of composition. Okay. Can you differentiate between association, aggregation, and composition? Okay. This is a association. This is aggregation. So this is a composition. So I want you understand where and when you want to use the type of relationship. Okay. So simple design of relationship is use the association. Yeah. Don't let your class like this one. Yeah. Student, course, subject. You don't have a relationship. So this is called useless uh, useless classes. So they cannot perform a special process or complete a process to make up the system. Okay, I hope you understand class. Which one is association, which one is aggregation, and which one is the composition. And when you want to use the association, aggregation, and composition. Okay. Another question that you have to ask. Why you want to use aggregation, and why you want to use composition, and why you use association. So this is a good question, yeah. Uh, for you to ask yourself when you design the class relationship, so you need to ask yourself that why you use aggregation, composition, or association. So this will affect your design, yeah, your design letter, and then this class will generate your program. If you want to make your application simple, I suggest you use the association. So this is easy to maintain, easy to design your system, and easy to implement your class to the coding. Okay. Okay, we continue on the relationship related to the relationship. Okay. Okay, each of the relationship should have a name. So name. So I'll give you an example. So one class withdraw manager, and then you relate to the account. So you need to name the relationship. So this is one example. With withdraw manager manage account. Account is managed by withdraw manager. This is how you read the relationship. Okay. Another thing that I want to highlight here, multiplicity of association. So you can add more than one relationship uh, between classes. This is one example. Course selection add student to course. Course selection can delete student from course. Okay, this is one example of multiple or multiplicity of association. So this is a multiplicity indicator, same like you model your ERD, yeah, entity relationship diagram. One to one, one to many, many to many. Yeah. So why we need this indicator? Why we use multiplicity indicator class? Because you see here, yeah. So because each class contains the attribute, right? So that's why you need to model your relationship by showing their multiplicity. Let's say this is ID and password. So what is the relationship between admin screen and system? Is it one to one to many, and so on? Yeah. Okay. Multiplicity, aggregation. This already give you example. Reflexive. So I never use this reflexive. Yeah. Reflexive association make your application complex. Yeah. So don't use this reflexive association if you don't have a solid reason. Yeah. If you have a solid reason to reflexive the relationship, then you can continue. If not, then try to avoid it. Okay, what else? Okay, constraints. So this is a advanced relationship. Okay, finding association and aggregation. So back to the SQL diagram, yeah. So you need to model your object class dynamically. Okay, package also need to relate between one package to another package. So they use also relations. Okay, class. That's all for chapter 7. So I will show you uh, how to create the relationship, and then we continue to how to discover the attribute, and also the operation, uh, in the message of the class. Okay, class. Thank you very much. See you again.